peaceful ocean.
Really? That's very cool. That's very cool.
For years, the Cornelia Marie was a steady presence on Deadliest Catch, a familiar boat, a familiar crew, and a deep connection to fans. Then it was just gone. No explanation, no farewell. As the show moved on, longtime viewers were left with more questions than answers. But Cornelia Marie wasn't the only one. Other boats vanished too, quietly, completely. What's really behind these disappearances? And what does it say about the show itself? Join us as we uncover the real reason Cornelia Marie disappeared from Deadliest Catch. Cornelia Marie's disappearance from Deadliest Catch. The Cornelia Marie was one of the most recognizable vessels on Deadliest Catch, instantly identifiable by its yellow and blue hull and its long-standing presence on the show. First introduced with the larger-than-life Captain Phil Harris at the helm, the ship became a symbol of grit, legacy, and heart for fans across the globe. After Phil's tragic passing from a stroke in 2010, while filming was ongoing, the boat eventually transitioned into the hands of his son, Josh Harris, who bought it with co-captain Casey McManus. From season 10 through 18, the vessel remained part of the core fleet, with a few absences such as in season 13. However, it didn't return for season 19 or 20, and no official farewell or on-screen explanation was provided. One would then wonder, what went wrong, and when? Stay tuned, the most interesting part is still ahead. Viewers were left wondering why one of the show's staples had suddenly disappeared. Though Discovery remained quiet, behind-the-scenes revelations have helped piece together the troubling reason behind the Cornelia Marie's vanishing act. The sudden disappearance of the Cornelia Marie in season 19 coincided with a resurfaced legal issue tied to Josh Harris. In 1999, Harris served 9 months in prison for sexually assaulting a minor, a case that reportedly flew under the radar for many years. As the details became public through outlets like Radar Online, the optics became untenable for Discovery Channel, a network heavily reliant on brand image and family viewership. Though Harris had pleaded to a lesser charge and completed a psychosexual exam as part of his sentencing, Discovery made the decision to sever ties. The network did not offer an explicit on-air explanation, but confirmed that Harris would not appear in any future episodes. Rather than attempt a complex workaround to keep the Cornelia Marie and co-captain McManus involved, Discovery opted for a clean break from the entire operation. Despite the boat's popularity and legacy, the association with Harris's criminal record became a liability too great to ignore. Casey McManus, who co-owned the Cornelia Marie and had no known legal or personal controversies, also found himself cut from the show. According to McManus, the production team simply chose not to renew his, Harris's, or the vessel's contracts. While the network's public statement was limited, McManus offered some insight via social media, suggesting it was a production-level decision. He later reflected on the situation with some frustration, saying it was a bummer deal, and even remarked that there were no crabs to catch, hinting at broader dissatisfaction. Having been a major fixture on the boat and the series, McManus transitioned to working with tugboats and continues to post updates from his maritime life on Instagram. Though his departure was never formally addressed on screen, it appears his exit was a collateral consequence of the show's decision to completely distance itself from Josh Harris. For fans, this added to the confusion and disappointment, as the Cornelia Marie was more than just one man's story. The possibility of the Cornelia Marie returning hasn't been entirely ruled out. In June 2024, Taylor Jansen, a former crew member who had worked aboard the vessel from 2018 to 2022, posted an Instagram photo in front of the dry-docked ship. His caption hinted at a new chapter, stating, "First shipyard as partners in this big blue piece of steel, #Bristol Baybound." Jansen's announcement sparked speculation about his potential return, not just to the water, but to Deadliest Catch itself. Though it's unclear how his new partnership affects McManus's or Harris's shares in the boat, fans quickly began to hope that the vessel's most turbulent era might be giving way to a fresh start. Taylor's growing involvement, paired with the ship's continued activity off-camera, points to the Cornelia Marie remaining fully operational and active, even if Discovery Channel isn't filming it anymore. Whether Jansen's leadership will be enough to revive the boat's presence on screen remains a possibility. For many longtime fans, Taylor Jansen was more than just another deckhand. During his 4-year stint aboard the Cornelia Marie, he took on multiple roles, including engineer and greenhorn. He also gained a reputation for resilience after enduring a string of serious injuries on the job. In one incident, he was slammed by a massive wave carrying 80,000 gallons of water, hurling him across the deck. On another occasion, he was struck in the head by a loose crab pot during a storm. Finally, he suffered a gruesome injury that required cutting open the skin on his finger. Jansen's perseverance earned him credibility with viewers, making him a logical choice to represent a new chapter in the Cornelia Marie's story. With him now listed as a partner, the boat seems poised for reinvention, one that could potentially reconcile the ship's proud history with the reality show's evolving standards. But nothing has yet been confirmed by Discovery. Still, there's a lingering sense of uncertainty. Discovery Channel has not officially commented on any potential return for the Cornelia Marie, nor has it announced any renewed partnerships with Taylor Jansen or any other co-owners. At the same time, the show's history of surprising returns, like the Cornelia Marie's comeback in Season 14 after its unexplained Season 13 absence, keeps fans cautiously optimistic. For now, the vessel's fate remains in limbo. The brand it built over 2 decades, along with its deep emotional ties to Captain Phil Harris and his family, ensures it won't easily be forgotten. Whether it sails back into the series spotlight or continues life away from the cameras, the Cornelia Marie remains a powerful symbol of Deadliest Catch's complex, often turbulent legacy. What happens next depends not only on network decisions, but also on how the ship's ownership and public perception evolve in the years ahead. This makes us question, how did the Deadliest Catch show even come about? Let's get into it. The rise of Deadliest Catch and challenges so far. Deadliest Catch first aired in April 2005 on the Discovery Channel, chronicling the perilous world of Alaskan crab fishing. Produced by Original Productions, the show was conceived as a gritty, real-world look into one of the most dangerous professions on Earth. From the outset, the stakes were brutally clear: rough seas, freezing winds, and heavy steel equipment colliding with human fragility. What set the show apart was its raw authenticity, achieved by embedding film crews aboard working vessels during active king and snow crab seasons. With narration initially by Mike Rowe, the show introduced viewers to a revolving cast of captains and crews who risked their lives for big paydays. The concept proved instantly gripping. By offering a direct window into the Bering Sea's storm-battered decks, Deadliest Catch grew into one of Discovery's flagship series, drawing millions of viewers and setting the standard for high-stakes reality television. Impressive, yes, but what you're about to hear will blow your mind. At the heart of Deadliest Catch's long-lasting appeal is its rotating ensemble of fishing boats and personalities. Each vessel represented a different flavor of leadership and strategy, creating an unscripted drama that rivaled fictional series. The captains, often lifelong fishermen, brought with them years of experience, personal demons, and a never-quit attitude. From the disciplined approach of Captain Sig Hansen aboard the FV Northwestern to the gruff resilience of Captain Wild Bill Wichrowski, the show's longevity owes much to the emotional arcs of these men and their crews. Unlike other reality shows, the stakes weren't fabricated. They were physical and financial survival. Boats took on water. Crew members were injured, sometimes killed. A good haul could mean a 6-figure payout. A bad run could bankrupt a vessel. This reality shaped the tone of the show: tense, unpredictable, and deeply human. not all aspects of the show stayed clean. Over the years, Deadliest Catch has been caught in its own net of controversies. Multiple cast members have been involved in legal issues ranging from DUIs to violent offenses. In 2010, production manager Matthew Schneider was arrested in a drug bust, highlighting the chaos that sometimes extended behind the camera. Former deckhand Joshua Tell Warner, who appeared on the FV Wizard, turned out to be a wanted bank robber who was eventually captured after being recognized from the show. The death toll has also haunted the series. Several cast members, including Nick McGlashan, died due to substance abuse problems. Lawsuits have been filed by participants, such as Nick Mavar, who sued the production company following a medical emergency that he claimed was poorly handled. Despite the drama, the show continued to push forward, but these incidents exposed a darker undercurrent behind the adrenaline-fueled visuals. Deadliest Catch wasn't without criticism, especially when it came to how reality was portrayed. Some former crew members and viewers claimed that parts of the show were exaggerated, with producers allegedly editing scenes to heighten tension or highlight drama that may not have been as intense in real life. Questions were raised about manipulated sequences, selective editing, and whether interpersonal conflicts were emphasized just to hold viewer attention. Others accused the production of tweaking quotas to make certain storylines more exciting. Still, most agreed the physical danger of crab fishing was real. What helped the show stay grounded was its strong production team, led by Tom Beers of Original Productions. Beers, known for other work like Monster Garage, helped design a format that mixed real-world danger with a documentary feel. Filming with waterproof gear and GoPros, the show captured the rawness of the Bering Sea. Even after Beers left, his successful formula lived on. One defining feature of Deadliest Catch is its high turnover rate, both in crew members and vessels. Boats vanish between seasons for many reasons: engine damage, lack of funding, ownership changes, or personal scandal. When a vessel is no longer operational or loses its production contract, it's retired from the show. Sometimes boats are scrapped or sold. In other cases, they return after seasons-long absences. The unpredictability adds realism, but also confusion for viewers. Some retirements are explained, others are not. Fans have speculated endlessly about ships like the FV Katmai, FV North American, and FV Victory, which quietly exited the series. The show rarely explains these changes, choosing instead to focus on those still battling the waves. This transient nature mirrors the fishing industry itself, where turnover is fast and financial margins are razor-thin. For a series committed to truth, these disappearances were both organic and inevitable. As the show entered its second decade, the wear and tear showed not just on the vessels, but also the people. Drug addiction, physical injuries, and mental burnout took their toll on many returning figures. Jake Anderson, for example, lost both a sister and father during his time on the show. Other crew members walked away quietly, unable to handle the toll. Still, new captains emerged, eager to prove themselves. The series shifted subtly to include more family dynamics, intergenerational crews, and the evolution of commercial fishing in a modern regulatory environment. Safety technology improved. Rules got stricter. The hulls, once completely uncontrolled, began to reflect sustainable practices and changing quotas. These developments were woven into the episodes, creating a living record of how the industry, and those working within it, had changed. For viewers, the appeal deepened. This wasn't just about crab, it was about survival. Despite its imperfections, Deadliest Catch has remained a cultural anchor on the Discovery Channel. Now, over 20 seasons in, the show still commands a dedicated audience. Each season brings new risks and new faces, alongside familiar veterans like Captain Sig Hansen. For Discovery, it's one of their longest-running and most successful franchises. Its impact has also extended into spin-offs like Deadliest Catch, Bloodlines, merchandise, books, and even slot machines. Whether the appeal is the unforgiving nature of the sea or the stubborn bravery of the people who face it, something about the formula continues to resonate. Even with boats like the Cornelia Marie exiting under controversy, fans keep coming back. Deadliest Catch, in many ways, has become more than a TV show. It's a saga of human will, weathered steel, and unpredictable seas. And as long as the Bering Sea remains cold and cruel, the cameras will likely keep rolling. In fact, Cornelius is not the first boat to disappear. And what are the others? You're at the edge of your seat, and it's about to get even better. Other ships which disappeared from Deadliest Catch but shaped it. The disappearance of the Cornelia Marie wasn't just about a missing boat. It was a jarring disruption to the continuity that had shaped Deadliest Catch for years. Viewers had followed the vessel through treacherous seasons, celebrated its victories, and mourned its tragedies. Its sudden absence in seasons 19 and 20 created a narrative gap that left audiences unsettled. In a show where stakes are rooted in real danger and physical endurance, the absence of one of the most iconic ships carried more weight than a shuffled cast in any typical program. There was no on-screen farewell, no formal explanation woven into the episodes. Production didn't address its exit within the story, creating space for theories, frustration, and silence where there had once been legacy. What made it harder to accept was that the Cornelia Marie wasn't just a prop, it was a character. And for fans who followed every swell and storm, its disappearance hit unexpectedly close to home. But this gets even sadder. The Cornelia Marie is not the first vessel to vanish from Deadliest Catch without closure. Over the years, the fleet has shifted dramatically, with several prominent boats disappearing quietly, sometimes permanently. The FV Destination, for example, was lost tragically in 2017 when it sank in the Bering Sea, taking all 6 of its crew members with it. The Coast Guard investigation revealed icing and stability issues as contributing factors. It was a devastating real-world event, and Deadliest Catch paid tribute to the lost crew. But other boats faded more subtly. The FV Katmai, a vessel that featured early in the series, simply disappeared after season 5. Its exit was never explained on the show, leading to speculation about mechanical issues or ownership disputes. Similarly, the FV North American, one of the show's original vessels, left after season 4 without narrative closure. The pattern was clear. Unless a disappearance had dramatic weight or death, the production often let it pass without comment. One particularly notable vanishing was the FV Wizard. As one of the most durable vessels on the show, the Wizard was captained by Keith Colburn and appeared in more than 15 seasons. But even it faced a pause. After Keith tested positive for COVID-19 in season 17, filming complications and changing crew dynamics led to its temporary exit. Though the boat returned, the instability reflected how production logistics, health issues, and personality clashes could all impact a vessel's fate. The FV Seabrook met a similar fate. Once a prominent player captained by Scott Campbell Jr., the boat faded from the series after tensions between Campbell and producers. Campbell later returned with a new vessel, the Lady Alaska, but Seabrook's disappearance remained unaddressed. The FV Saga, a fan favorite captained by Jake Anderson, has had its screen time fluctuate drastically, disappearing mid-seasons only to reappear later. These absences, partial or full, highlight how no boat, no matter how central, is safe from the series' off-camera decisions. Sometimes boats vanish due to ownership changes or contractual shifts. The FV Brenna A, captained by Sean Dwyer, debuted to positive reception in season 12 and brought a younger voice to the aging fleet. But by season 15, the vessel was gone. Dwyer later explained through social media that while he still captained the Brenna A off-camera, production had chosen to focus elsewhere. Similarly, the FV Cape Caution, helmed by Wild Bill Wichrowski, quietly disappeared after a few seasons. Bill eventually returned with a different boat, the Summer Bay, reinforcing how the production often follows captains more than vessels. But for fans who emotionally connect to ships, their look, their legacy, such transitions often feel disorienting. Boats like the Aleutian Ballad, which survived a near sinking in Season 2, turned into tour vessels. Its transformation into a floating museum of sorts reflects another path: retirement without death, but with dignity. While these disappearances vary in reason, death, disputes, production changes, they share one common thread. Deadliest Catch rarely gives viewers full closure. The show, for all its rawness, is still edited television. Contracts are seasonal, personalities change, and boats, like people, become casualties of shifting priorities. The show has leaned into its realism, but behind that is a rotating cast dictated by finances, availability, and controversy. Even when boats return, like the Saga or Northwestern, their downtime isn't always explained. This fluidity, while realistic to the fishing industry, challenges the show's commitment to continuity. It leaves fans to fill in the blanks, scouring social media and interviews for scraps of truth. The Cornelia Marie was just the most high-profile loss. Its history, captains, and controversies ensured its absence couldn't slip quietly into the tide like others. But its vanishing echoed a larger trend. In this world, nothing floats forever, not even fame. Behind the camera, Deadliest Catch has to manage not just physical danger, but reputational risk. Boats are living workplaces, and the people aboard them carry complex personal histories. When those histories collide with public scrutiny, the network makes hard decisions. Legal troubles, interpersonal feuds, or production disagreements don't always play out on screen, but they shape what viewers ultimately see. When a ship like the Cornelia Marie disappears, it reflects both internal choices and external pressures. Production may have preferred silence over controversy, but fans noticed. The legacy of the boat and its iconic captains could not be erased by omission. And in the background, new boats rise, old ones dock permanently, and the ocean of Deadliest Catch remains ever-shifting. Every boat on the show carries more than crab pots. They carry personal histories, audience expectations, and the burden of being unforgettable. So while Deadliest Catch steams forward into new seasons with new crews, the ghosts of past vessels still hover over the series. Should networks explain when fan-favorite boats vanish? If the Cornelia Marie is gone for good, is it the end or a new beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to check out the next video on your screen. You will enjoy it.